Welcome to Deep Dive, the daily podcast from Career Spotlight Academy, where we take you beyond the surface of today's most exciting careers. From STEM to entrepreneurship, we'll explore the ins and outs of industries shaping the future. Get ready for expert insights, real-world advice, and a look into the skills you need to succeed. Let's dive into your future, one career at a time. Let's take that deep dive with Career Spotlight Academy.
Ever catch yourself, daydreaming about building something huge, becoming the next big innovator, the kind of story they make documentaries about?
Yeah, the entrepreneur life, huh?
Exactly. But today's deep dive is about getting real about that dream, pulling back the curtain and seeing what's really going on behind those super successful entrepreneurs. We're talking about the nitty-gritty, the hard work, the stuff most articles and podcasts kind of gloss over when they talk about starting a business.
And believe me, I've been in the thick of it myself. We've got a whole bunch of sources here that don't sugarcoat a thing. They lay it all out, the good, the bad, and let's be honest, sometimes the downright brutal realities of launching a startup.
So you're telling me it's not all beanbag chairs and brainstorming sessions with a quick ping pong break. You're blowing my mind here. Seriously, though, I was reading this one article and it had this line that just stopped me in my tracks. It said something like, the second you realize your business idea might actually work, that's when the real work starts.
It's true, though.
It's almost ironic, isn't it?
It's kind of the entrepreneur's paradox,
Yeah.
You get that initial spark, that excitement when you see your idea might actually have legs, that you found that product/market fit everyone's chasing. It's exhilarating.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and anyone who's actually launched a business knows this, it's also the moment you realize you're in for the long haul. This isn't a quick win, it's a marathon. And like any marathon, you need more than just enthusiasm to cross that finish line. You need resilience, strategic thinking, and a whole lot of grit.
Okay. Before you completely crush all my entrepreneurial dreams, let's back up a second. For those of us who are just starting to learn about this world, what exactly does product market fit even mean?
It's the holy grail. Product market fit means you've hit that sweet spot where you've created something that people genuinely want and need. It's not just a cool idea. It's about solving a real problem for a real market. That's where the magic happens.
Makes sense. But from what I'm gathering from these articles and from what you're saying, it seems like finding that fit is just the very first step. Several articles really highlighted how different the day-to-day reality of being an entrepreneur is from that glamorous image we usually see.
It's kind of like trying to navigate an obstacle course, but you're blindfolded and carrying a backpack full of rocks.
Yeah.
Way more challenging. One article actually said that the majority of startups fail, not because their idea isn't innovative enough, but because they totally mess up how they manage their early funding rounds.
Whoa, that's intense. So it's not just about getting the money, it's about knowing how to use it wisely right from the beginning.
100%. Think of it this way. You managed to secure a big seed around that initial burst of funding to get your idea up and running. Amazing, right? But there's a but coming, isn't there? There's always a but. So you've got this money, but if you haven't planned for how quickly you're going to spend it, that's your burn rate, or you haven't thought through different ways your company might grow, you could end up back at square one before you even get started. And let me tell you, trying to convince investors to give you more money after you've already, shall we say, misplaced the first batch. Good luck with that.
Suddenly, my spreadsheet of startup ideas is looking a lot more daunting. It's like you're really driving home the point that understanding the financial side of things is just as important as having an amazing idea.
No doubt. And it's not even just about crunching numbers. The articles we've got here really emphasize how important it is to understand the different stages of funding. You've got your seed funding, then your Series A, Series B, and so on. And each of those stages has its own unique challenges, investor expectations, and potential pitfalls. It's a whole other language.
So basically you're saying even with the most brilliant idea in the world, if you don't know how to handle the financial side of your business, you're setting yourself up for a really tough journey.
It's like trying to climb Mount Everest wearing flip-flops. You might have the willpower, but you're going to need the right gear and the right knowledge to survive.
Okay, so funding is clearly a minefield. But it's not the only challenge entrepreneurs face, right? I mean, these articles and my own research talk about how much pressure founders are under, especially in those early days.
Oh yeah, the pressure cooker is real. And it's not just about the financial strain either. Imagine this. You're juggling product development, marketing, building a team, all at the same time. And you're often doing it with limited resources and constant uncertainty.
That sounds stressful.
It can be. It's no surprise that burnout is a huge topic in the startup world. We're not just talking about pulling a few late nights. It's a whole different beast.
And speaking of juggling all those different aspects of a startup, that actually reminds me of something else. These articles kept bringing up the whole question of whether to partner up or go solo.
The classic founder's dilemma.
It really is. It's like there's this constant push and pull between wanting to have complete control over your vision and knowing that you just can't do everything yourself. So how did our sources tackle that balancing act?
Yeah, it's tough. One article even called it like the founder's ultimate dilemma, lone wolf or pack leader. And the truth is, there's no right answer.
Because both paths have their own challenges, right? It's not like one is inherently better than the other.
Exactly. Choosing a co-founder, it's almost like entering into a business marriage. And believe me, it can be just as complicated as the real thing.
Oh, I bet.
You're linking your destiny to another person's vision, their work ethic, even their personality. And if you're not 100% on the same page from the get-go, things can fall apart really quickly, especially with all the pressure you're both under.
I can only imagine the boardroom showdowns. So what about the lone wolf approach? Are those entrepreneurs just setting themselves up for failure, or did our articles offer some hope for those who thrive on independence?
Well, going solo definitely has its advantages. I mean, you have total control, right?
Yeah.
No need to compromise on your vision, no need to convince anyone that you're making the right decisions. But the flip side is that you're carrying the entire weight of the business on your shoulders. The long hours, the tough choices, every single setback.
That's a lot for one person to handle.
It is. It takes an incredibly resilient person to navigate all of that without completely burning out. That's why having a strong support system is so crucial, whether it's mentors, advisors, or even just a network of other entrepreneurs who understand what you're going through.
That actually makes me think about one article that suggested thinking of your network as an extension of your team, even if those people aren't officially on the payroll.
Smart. Having that kind of support system can make all the difference. And that's actually a perfect segue into those 10 stages you mentioned earlier. That list wasn't just about the steps involved in building a business. It was almost like a guide to developing the essential skills and support systems entrepreneurs need to navigate each phase of the journey.
Because it's not enough to have a great idea or even the funding to get started, right?
Yeah.
You need to know how to actually execute, how to build a team, how to lead, how to sell your vision to the world.
Exactly. It's like entrepreneurship requires a whole different operating system. You need to develop that entrepreneurial mindset all our sources keep talking about.
Okay, so let's break that down. What are some of the key traits or skills that 10 stages list highlighted? What sets apart the entrepreneurs who actually succeed from those who just, dream about it?
Well, the first thing is learning to be comfortable with uncertainty. The article actually called it dancing with discomfort. Kind of catchy, right? Because unlike a traditional job, there's no clear roadmap, no guaranteed paycheck, no boss telling you what to do.
That sounds terrifying to some people.
It can be. But it's also incredibly exciting. You're in the driver's seat, but that means you have to be comfortable navigating uncharted territory.
So having a high tolerance for risk, or at least being smart about the risks you take, that's pretty crucial then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And along with that, you need to be adaptable. That meticulously crafted business plan you spent months perfecting. Be ready to throw it out the window when the market changes, when a competitor pops up, when the universe throws you a curveball, because it will.
It's like that Mike Tyson quote. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Only in this case, it's the market doing the punching.
Exactly. And that actually leads us to another essential skill the article talked about, being a relentless learner. The skills you need to get your business off the ground might not be the same skills you need to scale it to the next level,
So you're constantly evolving, constantly adapting, constantly seeking out new knowledge.
You got it. You're never really done learning as an entrepreneur. And that's where building that network we talked about, those mentors, advisors, that community of fellow founders, it's so invaluable. They become your sounding board, your source of fresh ideas, and let's be real, your lifeline when you hit those inevitable bumps in the road.
It's like building your own personal board of directors for your life and career, except hopefully there are fewer shareholder meetings.
Right. And the great thing is you can find mentors and build those connections in so many ways. Industry events, online communities, even just reaching out to someone you admire for a quick virtual coffee chat.
It's a good reminder that sometimes The biggest obstacle is our own hesitation to just reach out and ask.
100%. And speaking of obstacles, our listicle definitely didn't shy away from the fact that in today's world, you need a strong online presence.
Oh, absolutely. It's not enough to just have a great product or service. You have to know how to market it, how to build a brand that resonates with people, how to tell your story in a way that's authentic and engaging. And you have to meet your audience where they are, which is usually online.
Exactly. Understanding social media marketing, content creation, even the basics of SEO and graphic design, those skills can be just as valuable as crunching numbers and managing your finances.
It's like you're not just the CEO. You're the head of marketing, the sales team, and customer service all rolled into one.
Welcome to entrepreneurship. But on a serious note, that's why those 10 stages emphasize the importance of developing strong communication skills, both written and verbal.
Because whether you're pitching investors, motivating your team, or explaining your product to your grandma, you have to be able to communicate your vision clearly, concisely, and persuasively.
Exactly. And it's not just about being a smooth talker either. It's about listening, really understanding your audience, and adapting your message to connect with them on a deeper level.
So it's more nuanced than just having a killer elevator pitch then.
Way more nuanced. And that actually reminds me of something the article touched on, the power of storytelling in entrepreneurship.
Because at the end of the day, stories are how we connect with each other, right? It's not just about data and numbers. It's about tapping into that emotional core, conveying the why behind your business.
You hit the nail on the head. I remember one article even made this bold statement. It said, "Facts tell, but stories sell."
And isn't that the truth?
Especially these days when everyone's constantly bombarded with information. You need to cut through the noise, and a good story, that's how you do it.
So it's about crafting a narrative that truly resonates, something that makes people feel something and makes them want to be a part of what you're building.
Exactly. And it has to be genuine. It can't feel forced. It has to come from a place of real passion, your why, your belief in the problem you're trying to solve.
Because people can spot a fake from a mile away, right?
Oh, absolutely. Authenticity is key.
Mm-hmm.
People don't just buy what you're selling, they buy into why you're doing it.
It's like that saying, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. It's about building more than just a company. It's about creating a community, a movement, a group of people who believe in your vision as much as you do. And that actually reminds me, we've talked a lot about the challenges of entrepreneurship, which are very real, by the way. But we also have to talk about the rewards.
Because there are huge rewards. And I'm not just talking about the potential for a big financial windfall.
Although I'm sure that's a nice perk, but you're talking about something deeper, right?
Way deeper. The articles we read really emphasize the intangible rewards, the things money can't buy.
Like what? Give us the good stuff. What keeps entrepreneurs going when things get tough?
Well, first and foremost, there's the autonomy, the freedom to call your own shots, to set your own hours, to build a company culture that aligns with your values. That's incredibly empowering.
It's like you're building a life on your own terms, not just a business.
Exactly. And then there's the creative fulfillment, the feeling of bringing an idea to life from scratch. Seeing your vision become a reality. There's nothing quite like it.
And knowing that what you're building has the potential to make a real difference in the world, that's got to be incredibly motivating.
Absolutely. One article even said, and I love this, entrepreneurship is about solving problems you're passionate about and creating a ripple effect of positive change.
It's a beautiful way to put it. So before we wrap up this deep dive, I have to ask, if you could give one piece of advice, one golden nugget of wisdom to our listeners who are feeling that entrepreneurial itch, what would it be?
Honestly, I'd tell them what I wish someone had told me when I was starting out. Don't be afraid to fail. In fact, embrace failure.
Because it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. But it's not the end of the world. You will stumble, you will make mistakes, but those are the moments when you learn the most valuable lessons.
It's like they say failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey.
Exactly. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Surround yourself with people who support your vision and challenge you to grow. And remember that you're not in this alone.
And never stop learning, never stop trying new things, and never ever stop believing in the power of your ideas. Well, on that inspiring note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive into the world of entrepreneurship. We've covered so much ground, from the nitty-gritty of product market fit and financial know-how to the less talked about but equally important aspects, the mindset, the mentors, the power of telling your story in a way that connects with people.
Been a fantastic conversation. I always enjoy these deep dives, getting into the heart of what it really takes to build something meaningful.
Me too. And to our amazing listeners, we'll leave you with this. What problem are you passionate about solving? What impact are you driven to make on the world? Because within those questions, you might just find the seed of your own incredible entrepreneurial journey. And until next time, keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep driving deep.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. We hope you're feeling inspired and ready to take the next step toward your future career. Don't forget to join us every day for more insights, tips, and real-world advice to help you succeed. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and let Career Spotlight Academy guide you to success.